Missing bodies of hostages top the list of uncertainties as fragile Gaza ceasefire holds. The Israeli military said its troops had opened fire to remove the threat of people approaching them across the yellow line. White forces had retreated to under Trump's deal. The 10-year ceasefire and the 2-year Israel-Hamas war was holding Tuesday as the complex issues remain ahead, a day after the widespread jubilation of the return of Israel of this last 2011 hostages held in Gaza and the release of hundreds of Palestinian prisoners, detainees in exchange. The list of more immediate questions includes those when the Hamas will return to Israel, the bodies of 24 hostages believed to be dead in Gaza, as well as the health conditions of the released hostages and free Palestinians. And one of the decreased hostages, whose release is also part of the first phase of the ceasefire deal by broker the U.S. President Donald Trump, who turned over to Israeli authorities on Monday. And on Tuesday, the Israeli military identified two of them, Guy Lois from Israel and Bipin Joshi, a student from Nepal. Two men were both in their 20s when Hamas-led militants took them during October 7th attack on the Ignited the War. Elias from the Nova Music Festival and Yoshi from a bomb shelter. Israel said Yelos died of his wounds while being held captive without proper medical treatment, while Yoshi was murdered in captivity in the first months of the war. Added, the National Center of Forensic Medicine will later provide the final cause of death and free the Israeli hostages were in the medical care on Tuesday, and some families said that it would be weeks before the men could go home. In the West Bank and Gaza, where hundreds of prisoners were released, several were also taken to hospitals. Separately, the Israeli military said troops in the northern Gaza Strip had opened fire to remove the threat of several people approaching them on Tuesday across the yellow line and not complying with orders to stop. It didn't immediately comment on any casualties in the incident. And part of the ceasefire agreement said that Israel would pull back on Gaza, so the yellow line where its forces were in August before launching their latest offensive on the Gaza City in the Strip's north. And the longer term issues hang on in the balance, while other Hamas will disarm, will govern and help rebuild Gaza, and approaching the question of Palestinian statehood, which is central for Palestinians in many countries in the region. And the final steps and the peace are at as modest. Trump said it would say still with foreign leaders in Egypt to summit on Gaza's future.